Hello friends, myself Chetan Jadhav. In previous lecture, we have seen that what is mean by the finite element method, definition of its FEM, then types of analysis. In that different analysis we have seen studied. So today lecture we'll see next point, that is a terms used in finite element method. So now you can see here one figure is there. In that one stepped bar is there, one side fixed and one side hanging. So one side we are applying the one force and one side applying our fixed boundary condition, and we can see we are dividing this bar into small parts, that is called as elements, and which is connected by through the different nodes. So there are some terms, see, first domain, then degree of freedom, then node, element, mesh, boundary and loading conditions, pre-processing, processing and post-processing. So these are the some terms we are used in doing the finite element method. So whatever that problem is there, so first of all we have to create just some different elements. So before going to start the solving the problem, we have to first divide that problem into different parts, so that will be better for the solving the problem, and that will be give the more accuracy as compared to the whole problem. So first term, that is a domain. Domain means is your whole area, whatever we are going to consider as your problem, that is called as domain. So structure or body which to be analyzed is called as domain. Now you can see that whole circle, in between that circle, whatever that is called as your domain area for the finite element method, which is structure or body which is to be analyzed is called as domain. Next term, that is the degree of freedom, that is a DOF. So any unconstrained structure by 6 degrees of freedom in that 3 rotary and 3 translation. So for each unconstructed structure, means point or edge which is having 6 degrees of freedom in that 3 rotary and 3 translation. Next term, that is a node. Now you can see in that figure we are creating the different elements on that bar element, and that will be joining with the help of the nodes, that is called as node. It is the point where analysis is carried out on the calculation are made at limited number of the point is called as node. So we are joining this with the help of this point, we are joining this point and we will get the element. So that point is called as nodes, and we are doing the analysis out of the calculation made of the limited number of the point, that is also called as node. And next term is elements. So entity joining the nodes and forming a specific shape such as quadrilateral, triangular, etc. is known as elements. So with the help of this node, we are joining these different nodes and we will form some specific shape like quadrilateral, triangular, square, that etc. we will get the one separate shape, that is called as elements. So that type of elements we are going to form n number of the elements. And next term is mesh. Whatever that by with the help of the various point we are going to form, we are joining this point, we will get the node, then joining this node we will get some entity shapes, that is called as elements. And like this element, we are creating n number of element on that particular bar, so that is called as mesh. So domain is divided into smaller parts which is called as elements, and combination of all elements it is called as mesh, which is net like structure, which is actually look like a net like structure, and it will be helpful for our further solving the problem. Next terms, that is boundary and loading conditions. So for analyzing purpose, any structure, it is mandatory for fixed structure to support and need to apply some required parameters. This is known as boundary condition. So now you can observe in this problem we are fixed that bar element at one side and we are applying some load on the other free end. So before going to analyze, before going to start any analysis, we required some parameter which is apply some boundary condition on the structure. Suppose one side fixed structure, we need to fix this structure at one side and we need to apply some forces or conditions on the other sides. So this is called as boundary and loading condition. Next, that is pre-processing. In this pre-processing, it includes creation of the domain, meshing with the help of the nodes and elements. So this is the first initial step. Here we are going ahead of the solving our problem. So for that we have to create some first domain. In that we have to create some meshing with the help of the nodes and elements. We are going to divide that problem into n number of the elements. So this is the first step of the FEM, that is the pre-processing. In that processing, next terms processing, it involves applying boundary and loading conditions and actual solution of the domain by using computers when generated equation is solved. So in that, after the pre-processing, after the creating domain and mesh, we are moving towards the applying the various loading and boundary condition, and then we will get the actual solution of the domain by using the computer analysis with the generated equation is solved. So this is the actual solution phase of the FEM. And last, that is the post-processing. In that post-processing, it involves checking of the all desired results like displacement, stress, strain, natural frequency, temperature and time, etc. So in this post-processing, we have to just check whatever that applying loading and boundary condition in the processing phase. We will get some results. That results we have to check in the form of the displacement, stress, strain, natural frequency, temperature, time, etc. This is the last step of the finite element method. So these are the some terms used in FEM. So that are the important terms. Here we have to solve the problem. So we have to go from all the terms before solving the FEM problem. So these are the terms used in FEM. Next point, that is the types of elements. So in the types of element, there are 4 types. That is the first, one-dimensional, second, two-dimensional, third, three-dimensional, and last, other types. So before going to start the types of elements, we will see the definition of the elements. It may have physical properties such as thickness, coefficient of the thermal expansion, density, Young's modular, and Poisson's ratio. So in that element should have some physical property like this: thickness, coefficient of thermal expansion, density, Young's modulus, and Poisson ratio. So we will see the types of elements. So that is the first, that is a one-dimensional. So we will see, now you can see here x, y, z, that is a coordinate system. In that first example of the one-dimensional, that is a line which is having only one-dimensional. That's why we have written that x is far greater than y and z dimension. So one of these dimension is far greater than the remaining the 2 dimension. So basically that one-dimensional element is basically used for the meshing, and element shape in one-dimensional like line only. During the analysis, cross-section of this object need to provide additionally. So during the analysis we have to provide the cross-section of this element and additionally, and one of the dimension is very large in comparison to rest of the total, that is called as one-dimensional element. So one-dimensional element is nothing but one of the dimension is very large as compared to remaining dimension, that is called as one-dimensional element. In that, element shape is line, additional data from the user, remaining 2 dimension, that is area of the cross section, we have to give input additionally. Element type we can take as a rod, bar, beam, pipe, axisymmetric shell. So this is the type of the element. And for the some practical application is long shafts, beams, joints, connection elements. So these are the some practical application of the one dimensional elements. So one dimensional element is nothing but one of the dimension is a far greater than the remaining dimension, that is called as one dimensional element. Next type of the element, that is a two dimensional element. Now you can see here, this is the one of the example. Here two dimension is nothing but top dimension is very large of the remaining dimension, that is called as two dimensional. Here x and y is a far greater than the z dimension, so that is called as two dimensional. In this two dimensional element shape is quadrilateral or triangular shape. Additional data for the user, there is nothing. So element type is thin shell, plate membrane, plane stress, plane strain, axis symmetric solid, etc. This is the element type. And for this element, some practical application is there. Sheet metal parts, plastic components like instrumental panel. So in this type of the application, that time we are going to using this two dimensional element, okay, in automobile industry, aerospace industry. So this is the second type of the element, that is a two dimensional element. Next, that is a three dimensional element. Now you can see nearly, that is a 99%, all the dimension is equally spaced, that is a x is approximately equal to y and approximately to z. When all dimensions are nearly equal to, then that is called as 3D element are used for the meshing purpose. So during analysis, no extra information is required to provide additionally like cross section and thickness. So that is called as three dimensional element. All dimensions are comparatively equal. So in this element shape, the tetra, penta, hexa, pyramid, so these are the some element shape. Additional data from user, nothing. Element type is solid. And for this analysis element, some practical application is there in transmission casing, engine block and crankshafts. So these are the some practical application of the this three dimensional element, where all three dimension is comparatively equal, that is called as three dimensional element. Last, that is other type. In this we are taking the example of the damper mass spring. So in that first, that is a mass where point element, we can take the example of the point element, point load, element load, concentrate mass at CG of the component. And that next spring, that is a translation and rotational stiffness is there. In the damper, damping coefficient is there. Gap, that is the distance, stiffness, friction, rigid, then node. So these are the some example of the other type of the element, where we are using the different point load, element load, concentrate mass at CG. So in FEM, the structural system is molded by a set of appropriate finite element interconnected and discrete points called as nodes. So we are defining the different points, elements. So by using this node, a node is a coordinate location in space where the degree of the freedom are defined. So these are the last type of the element, where we are using the mass spring damper. Like this, we are taking the different other elements. So this is about the type of the elements. So there are four type of the elements: one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional and other. So this is the about type of the element. So next point, that is the general steps in FEM. So we will see what are the steps. So first, there is pre-processing, second processing / solution, and last processing, post-processing. So in that first pre-processing, again it includes three basic sub-steps. In that first, creation of model. So before going to solve any FEM problem, we have to go through that first creation of model, where 3D model is created with the help of the modeling software. So we have to first create the model, that is 3D model, with the help of the any modeling software. Then second step, created model is discretized to convert infinite degree of freedom to finite degree of freedom, which is called as meshing. So whatever that creating model, that model we have to discretize, that is we have to convert that infinite degree of the object into the finite degree of the freedom, which is called the meshing. So we have to do the meshing part after the creation of the model. So with the help of the discretization, so we have to do the meshing part. And last step, that is the desired boundary condition is applied to the meshing element. So whatever that meshing is completed, after meshing we have to give some boundary condition to that meshing element. So that are the first important pre-processing steps in FEM. So before starting the FEM problem, we have to first create the 3D model with the using of the any modeling software. After that we have to create that model, discretize into meshing part, means convert infinite degree of the freedom to the finite degree of the freedom. Then last step, you have to give some desired boundary condition to that meshing element. So these are the first 3 important steps in the pre-processing. After that we have to see in processing and solution phase. In that processing, user has to just click on the solve icon. After completing the pre-processing part, we have to just click on the solve icon. Internally, software carries out matrix formation, multiplication and solution for the unknowns. They are just carried, that software will be carried out the internally different calculations in matrix formation, multiplication and their solution for unknowns. At the time of the defining the boundary condition, we are providing that some coefficient, or we are providing some unknowns, and that unknowns we will get in the second step, that is the processing and solution. Example, stress value, strain value, displacement value, temperature, heat. Okay, like that we will get the different solution for the different unknowns. So this is the second step. Third step, that is a post processing. So after the creating model, applying the discretization, then creating meshing, then applying boundary condition, then applying the or find out the solutions, then last step is it is just viewing results like displacement, stress, strain, frequency, temperature, time, etc., and conclusion about what stress could be taken to improve the design. So in this last phase we have to just do one important thing, just viewing the results, whatever we are getting the results like displacement, stress, whatever that, we have to just conclude about the stress could be taken the improve the design or not, and from that results we have to decide whether that design is safe or not. Then accordingly that we have to changes we have to made in that design. So that is the last important phase in the FEM, that is a post processing. So this is our general steps in FEM. So in that we have seen that there is the first pre-processing, post-processing and processing. So for today's lecture this is enough. Remaining part of this chapter we will see in next lecture. Thank you so much.